Hey guys, welcome to the Metaverse. In today's video, I think I'm just going to go over an article that kind of caught my eye that I saw when I was browsing NFT news that's about a kind of interestingly controversial topic. I've been seeing a lot of people on Twitter kind of talking about this, and it definitely seems like something that's about to get a little bit more exposure since it is an extremely recent article. It hasn't exactly blown up yet, but I think it's probably going to get there based on the subject matter. Real quick guys, before I get started, be sure to like and comment on the video to show your feedback, and be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell next to it if you want to get notified every single time I have a new upload. There's going to be a lot more content coming out. I've been on somewhat of a hiatus due to some health concerns, but that's all cleared up now, so I'm going to be cranking out some videos. So without further ado, let's get started. So here's the article in question, and it says, it's from Cointelegraph.com. Cointelegraph.com, you can see the URL there. So it says, emergency. Wikipedia editors vote against classifying NFTs as art. And here we go. Wikipedia really can't be in the business of deciding what counts as art or not, which is why putting NFTs, art or not, in their own list makes things a lot simpler, editor Jonas wrote. An interesting little illustration here. A group of editors on Wikipedia, the free user-generated encyclopedia, have voted against classifying NFTs as a form of art and have come to a consensus to shelve the issue until a later date. A survey and debate started on the platform at the end of December, revolving around the most expensive art sales by living artists and whether NFT art sales should be deemed as art sales or NFT sales. Wikipedia really can't be in the business of deciding what counts as art or not, which is why putting NFTs is the same thing that was written before. Much of the discussion centered around whether an NFT represented the art or if it was simply a token that was separate to the underlying art. The editors were torn on the definitions, and some felt that there was a lack of reliable information to conclude from. A call for votes found 5 editors opposed to including NFTs in art sales and just 1 in support. A consensus was made on January 12th to remove sales such as Pack's NFT collection that fetched 91 million and Beeple's 69 million NFT from the TARP art sales list and reopen the discussion on a later date. The decision seems contentious when looking at Beeple's NFT Every Day is the First 5,000 Days in particular, which depicts a collage of original artworks from a renowned digital artist that sold at the prestigious Christie's art auction house, and it's going on. This is a very opinionated article, if you couldn't tell by that bit there, and it's basically just going over what the article writer thinks of it at this point. So here's the thing about this, in my opinion, is that whether it's a big deal or not is kind of one topic, and it's a little bit of a, I can see both ends of this, to be honest, because NFTs are not necessarily art. I think that labeling them like that in a Wikipedia article would be kind of doing a disservice to all the different kinds of NFTs out there, whereas, labeling it as its own thing is a little bit more broad and a little bit more representative of what NFTs really are, because what they are is just a tokenized asset of any kind. It doesn't have to be even related to art in any way. That's just the most common, most popular, and right now the most profitable ones. So whether this is really as harmful as this article is making it out to be is kind of up in the air, to be honest. I personally don't think it is. I don't think we should be so hung up on whether or not Wikipedia thinks this thing is art or not, and more we should be paying attention to, say, how Wikipedia's overall discussion about NFTs is. Are their definitions correct? Is there information coming from reliable sources? I think when you focus on the semantic aspects of it, because this really is just down to semantics at that point, if you're arguing that it's a really huge deal that it's not being classified as art, then you kind of neglect the more basic stuff, like, is the information actually there on Wikipedia already? because if it's not, then it shouldn't really be looked at as a place to get information about NFTs in the first place, and this, misdefinition or whatever, this misinterpretation here really shouldn't matter to you. I think this article is kind of sensationalist a little bit. Not that I think it's a non-issue necessarily, just that it's not like doomsday, end of the world, not like it's an emergency as the title brought on, because there's a whole other facet to this stuff that really isn't being considered here. Now, whether I think personally the NFTs that were brought up should or shouldn't be considered art is, another situation entirely. I kind of have a bit of a different view on NFTs as art. I don't tend to think of them as art. I tend to think of them as, tokenized investment. I tend to think of them a lot more as crypto and less about the art itself. That's what I can do basically to kind of contest with the fact that a lot of NFT art is below a standard that I hold for art as an artist myself. So, I definitely have a differing opinion than I would say a lot of you guys do, and a lot of other people do, and that's fine. That's what this is for. This is for discussion, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have a discussion. So we can continue on with the article here really quickly. Just says, this isn't the first time Wikipedia has had issues with reporting crypto-related information. Cointelegraph reported in September 2020 that anti-crypto activist and senior Wikipedia editor David Gerard helped remove an entry relating to Australian blockchain software firm Power Ledger. Gerard stated the post was deleted on the basis of being a pile of press release journalism, and the only genuine press coverage was about how Power Ledger was a scam, despite the entry being sourced from reputable publications such as TechCrunch and the Economic Times. I don't have anything more to say about that other than that's kind of funny. If that's true, then they have a history of doing this kind of thing, and it shouldn't really be that surprising. But that said, it is Wikipedia. A lot of people do look to Wikipedia for genuine information, and so any kind of misinformation being on that platform is going to be some kind of negative. It's just, in this specific case, I don't really think that there's a problem with shelving it until a later date. This whole space is still very new, and understandably, a lot of the world has not become accustomed to it quite yet, and giving them time to grow like this is probably what's needed for them to get the correct information down on there so that they can be, an actual source for information, instead of kind of hounding them down and, writing pieces like this that belittle them in certain ways where you're really not going to get anything done with a relationship like that. So, just really quick things to kind of finish up with this article is that while it's not exactly a non-issue, it's really not as serious as this article makes it out to be. And I get it, art is subjective, of course, and an article like this, publications like this, they gotta get their headlines going somehow, but I just don't know if this is really it. I think this is just going to spark a lot more of a volatile debate than is needed right now for the space, to be honest. So I don't know. We'll watch it and see how it goes and see how Twitter reacts to it. But I just thought it was something really interesting to take a look at, and I thought the whole situation was kind of, unique to this kind of thing specifically. So, I just wanted to kind of give my own 2 cents, give a bit of a report, walk through the article. But that's all I've got for today. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like and a comment. Those are great ways to leave feedback. Be sure to subscribe to the channel and ring that notification bell. Again, we've got a ton of content that we're going to be coming out with. I'm going to be uploading so many things. So to be notified on when that happens and what my upload schedule is like, be sure to hit that notification bell down by the subscribe button. And until next time, stay meta.